the latest news on your $2,000 fourth stimulus check and recurring stimulus check update, as well as daily news report. After seeing the weak jobs report recently, President Biden is now urging Congress to pass his economic plans, saying that our country needs these investments. But before we get into this one, as well as breaking news reports, I just want to say welcome back, you guys, and I want to thank you guys for always hitting the like button and supporting the channel. I cannot thank you guys enough. And also, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and join the family, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll know as soon as I release new videos and content on stimulus checks, daily news updates, the US economy, the stock market, and anything else that affects our money and our wallets. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has said that she will not hold a vote on the infrastructure legislation until the Senate passes the Democrats' spending plan. After centrists in her caucus threatened to hold up the budget bill, Nancy Pelosi made a non-binding commitment to consider the bipartisan bill by September 27th. Even the House Democrats are not safe from facing opposition with their agenda. Now, the last session to vote for the infrastructure bill was held up by centrists that were demanding that they first vote on the infrastructure bill before working on the stimulus bill. Somehow, Nancy Pelosi managed to strike a deal with them and be able to consider the infrastructure bill by September 7th, which ultimately satisfied the centrists. But now we have to wait and see what will happen from then. Will the progressives leverage their value of their votes to demand a fourth stimulus check or even recurring stimulus checks, at least for the most financially vulnerable Americans, or will this be a historical failure for the Democrats? President Biden on Friday framed tax increases on the wealthy and corporations as a way to create a fairer economy. He repeated his pledge not to raise taxes on anyone making less than $400,000 a year. To those big corporations that don't want things to change, my message is this: it's time for working families, the folks who built this country, to have their taxes cut. This comes according to President Biden. And to the corporate interests doing everything they can to find alleys in Congress to keep that from happening, let me be, as the old expression goes, perfectly clear. I'm gonna take them on. Personally, I don't know if I've ever heard that phrase before, so I don't know how popular it is, but this is what President Biden's saying, so we'll go with it. Now, the topic of taxing giant corporations and the wealthy people has been among, at the forefront of discussions by President Biden. Now, this is not the first time that we've heard this, though. That's because taxing these people and corporations seems to be a viable option for funding the stimulus bill. And if things go well, they could actually make it work. Now, if they make it work, they can implement the programs that they want in their stimulus bill, meaning we could see a stimulus check sooner than later. Additional taxes on these two groups would be enough to cover a fourth stimulus check, a fifth stimulus check, or even recurring stimulus checks, depending upon how the government determines stimulus check eligibility. Now, of course, nothing is guaranteed yet, and we might be making numerous predictions here and there that may not actually come true at all. We always have to play it by ear, but we're always reporting on what's actually happening. But one thing's for sure here: President Biden will 100% push for these two bills, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to stop. These are a part of his top priorities, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to let them fail so easily. But what do you guys think about this, though? The weaker jobs report certainly could be due to the Delta variant, and that is indeed very alarming. Now, with the worsening situation of this could actually be counted as one more reason to pass the stimulus bill and, of course, the infrastructure bill. But can they get this done at the end of the month? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Now, with natural disasters destroying homes and businesses, displacing thousands of families, causing billions of dollars in damages, hundreds of thousands of evictions are on the rise, ending of unemployment benefits are actually leaving families to, face a steep cliff in terms of their income streams. I just wanted to share a little glimmer of hope, just a little bit of a lighthearted story to kind of help relieve some of you with the stress that we've been facing lately. Tia Wimbush and Susan Ellis were co-workers for years at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and while friendly to each other at work, they rarely interacted in the large IT department. But in March, the two became bonded for life when Tia donated her kidney to Susan's husband Lance, and Susan donated her kidney to Tia's husband Rodney. According to People magazine, it says, "It all began with a chance encounter in the company's restroom and an introduction through another woman at work who knew that Tia's husband Rodney had been experiencing sudden kidney failure in 2019, and that Susan's husband Lance, who had long been battling, was in the same situation. Soon, they began to share what Ellis calls a connection of sisterhood after learning that both their husbands had end-stage kidney and were both on dialysis. Out of her kindness and trying to pair two women together for help, she put us together. For math teacher Rodney Wimbush, his illness started as something he just chalked up to be fatigue from being the busy father of two boys. Rodney Jr., now 18, and Randall, now 13, were active in track, basketball, and football. Rodney says, "You never really have time to catch up, and honestly, I just thought I was tired. Then one day I was at school and I felt horrible. Things escalated quickly. His blood pressure had skyrocketed into stroke range, and 911 was called. During all of this, his oldest son, Rodney Jr., then at the time 16 years old, was at school watching as his dad was transported to the hospital's ICU. Rodney started dialysis in the hospital because his kidneys were no longer functioning. According to the National Kidney Foundation, Black people are about 3 times more likely than white people to develop kidney failure. About 100,000 Americans are currently waiting for a kidney transplant, but only 22,817 people received one in 2020, and about a third of those came from living donors. The Winbushes were lucky in one aspect. Tia's blood type O allowed her to donate to anyone, and Rodney's AB allowed him to accept any donor's organ. They could do a direct donation and quickly move to transplant. When the hospital allowed people to come back to work, the two women ran into each other in the restroom and started discussing their donor journey. It marked Tia's light bulb moment. She asked Susan about Lance's blood type and realized that she could donate to Lance while Susan could donate to Rodney, a trade that would speed up the process considerably for Lance. But it also meant that it would take longer for Rodney to get his kidney. For them to wait and be patient, that is incredible. Dialysis is extremely hard, not just on me and Rodney, but on our entire family, Lance says. The fact that they held out to help me and Susan and our family, they deserve a medal for that. I cannot stress enough how hard dialysis is on people, and for what they did, I am eternally grateful. I just want to share this story with you guys. I just thought it was incredibly amazing that the humanity does still exist out here. I know we hear a lot of negative stories, and I just wanted to share a little bit of positivity. I feel like, there was some power above that allowed these two matches to happen. I mean, can you imagine, these two spouses having similar situations, and, they work together, and just so happens that their spouses both have the same conditions, and that they were each able to provide the other couple with a kidney and actually save lives. Let me know if you guys have heard this story before. I just wanted to share this with you guys. It really, really made me feel good. And I have to keep my YouTube family informed and aware of the next crisis that is about to hit. Now, here's a very serious warning, you guys. The economy is growing more and more unstable by the day, and I think you feel it too. In the past 24 months, between the curfews, the lockdowns, restrictions, self-isolation, the stay-at-home orders, and the mask mandates, it has literally changed the job market forever. Millions of people were laid off, entire households collapsed, and children have been left to starve. And it's only going to get worse with the unemployment running out and stimulus check money still far off. But to help you prepare, we've created a channel-exclusive newsletter on the 20 best ways to generate extra income today. And it's totally free. Learn all about the new normal, and most importantly, how you can reinvent yourselves financially in this stage of the game. The Biden administration is asking for billions of dollars for urgent extreme weather recovery efforts and the resettlement of Afghan refugees, and its proposal to keep the government funded past September 30th. According to CNN, in a Tuesday afternoon call with reporters, administration officials detailed the billions of dollars that the White House is requesting from Congress in addition to the general appropriations necessary to keep the government running. Among the asks, funding for testing for migrants at the border, billions for Afghan refugees and the evacuation process, and authorities to allow the Department of Homeland Security to tap into disaster recovery funds to help respond to catastrophes. The officials who declined to be named called on Congress to appropriate more than $14 billion of aid with recovery and unmet needs from recent natural disasters, including wildfires and storms, plus at least $10 billion to deal with the aftermath of Hurricane Ida. Administration officials are also asking for $6.5 billion in funding for Afghan refugees. The proposal comes as the White House faces several critical battles in Congress over the next several weeks. Now, as if we needed any more hurdles for the upcoming stimulus packages, President Biden is trying to raise some much needed money for the Afghan refugees and to help with natural disasters, and this would undoubtedly cause additional tensions over raising the national borrowing limit. It says here, we faced a fundamental choice in America right now as we rebuild our economy. This time, will everyone get in on the deal? President Biden knows whose side he's on, the backbone of this country, the middle class. Now, this comes from Beddingfield. Beddingfield also said the time is now. We have to meet the needs right in front of us. Not tomorrow, not months from now, not next year. Right now. America's working families deserve opportunity and nothing less. Climate change is producing more severe natural disasters like storms and wildfires. According to one of the administration officials said on the call, we need to do more to help states recover from recent and ongoing natural disasters. They have many unmet needs. Every part of the country is getting hit by extreme weather, and we're now living in real time what the country's going to look like. This is what President Biden said as he toured flooding devastation in New Jersey on Tuesday. We can't turn it back very much, but we can prevent it from getting worse. Question is, though, who's going to pay for all of this? One of the officials said that the government is expecting 65,000 Afghan refugees to arrive in the United States by the end of September. That's just next month, guys. And another 30,000 over the next 12 months. The funding request underscores the sheer demand for resettlement resources in the United States and infrastructure that was decimated under the Trump administration. Shots fired. Now, the plot only thickens from here, you guys. So what do you think? Should our lawmakers raise the budget needed to cover the $1.2 trillion infrastructure deal, the $3.5 trillion infrastructure package for the people, and on top of that, also ensure that there is financial backing to support the roughly 95,000 Afghan refugees heading to the United States over the next 12 months? I would love to hear from you guys on these issues because these are big circumstances that we are facing and they are all very real. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below. And lastly, the American Medical Association is calling for an immediate end to the use of ivermectin as a way to fight the. But what exactly is ivermectin and why are they calling for the stop of this? Let's find out right here. The American Medical Association is calling for the immediate end to the use of ivermectin to treat the and for doctors to stop prescribing it for that purpose amid a spike in the use of the ivermectin, often used as a deworming agent in animals and sometimes for humans, is not approved to treat and has not been shown to work for that purpose. Poison control centers have recorded a 5-fold increase in calls related to ivermectin, according to the Centers of Control and Prevention. Ivermectin is in fact often used for animals. I know you're thinking like, what? It's not even approved to be used to treat the. So why are so many people using this? The CDC has been warning people about this for quite some time now. Now, the AMA, which is actually the country's most prominent doctors group, is finally in on this. Now, with that much authority calling for an end for the use of this, maybe people will finally stop. The group also calls on doctors and pharmacists to warn patients about using it to treat the use of ivermectin for the prevention and treatment of has been demonstrated to be harmful to patients, according to the group. Calls to poison control centers due to ivermectin ingestion have increased 5-fold from their pre-baseline. Experts say that instead of risking the use of unproven, people should get vaccinated. There is a risk of harming yourself when you use this. So, I think it would be best to stay on the safe side of things here. You might actually do yourself more harm than good in the end. I just wanted to share this with you guys. I'm no doctor, but this is what the CDC is saying. And, for many, that's a credible source. Not to mention the American Medical Association. But at the end of the day, feel free to do your own research and learn for yourself. Also, if you have your own experience to share, let us know in the community down below. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Take care and be safe, guys.